Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. To us, OC stands for community because we believe our community thrives when we come together. That's why we thank you for joining us each week on Tuesday evening on channel 56.10 and on Wednesday morning on channel 14.2. This is a bilingual English and Vietnamese program dedicated to educating, empowering, and inspiring our community. Today on our show, we have my good friend, Keith Reza. Keith Reza is a comedian. Today, he's going to bring us on his journey into finding his passion in his job. You know, as the pandemic has happened, many of us, lost our jobs or were displaced to having to move to a virtual work reality. As we come back into the workforce, many people also are revisiting whether they want to go back to their job. So today, we want to help promote an upcoming comedy show because, life is a comedy show. Sometimes we just have to laugh when all the challenges occurs. Julie Yip kính chào quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV trong chương trình Kiến thức, y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Julie rất hân hạnh hôm nay mời được Keith Reza. Keith Reza là một người comedian với một người bạn thân của Julie. Luôn luôn trong mấy năm đây, Keith với Julie làm rất nhiều việc trong cộng đồng và làm gây quỹ cho mấy trẻ em. Với hôm nay, Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Keith về cái công việc làm của Keith mà chú ý nhất là cái employment and returning to work. Keith, welcome to the show. Oh. Can you say chào quý vị?
Chào quý vị.
There, chào quý vị means, welcome and, to the Little Saigon TV, the LSTV audience. Oh. And I thank you so much for being a friend all of these years and, working with me alongside in the community.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I have a question. Did you just say the exact same thing you said in English and Vietnamese?
Not exactly. I can't even translate my own work.
I was going to be like, that's very impressive.
Yeah. So, Keith, tell the audience about who you are. And what have you done in the community? What kind of work have you been doing?
Well, my name's Keith Reza. I'm a stand-up comedian. I also have autism, Asperger's syndrome. And the work I've done for the community of OC Autism is doing the shows for them, and sometimes I volunteer at their events that they have.
What are some of your paid gigs? So let's talk about
my paid
that.
Gigs? Oh, I do comedy, and then the pandemic happened, so I didn't do comedy. Now the pandemic's kind of over, so I'm about to do comedy again.
What is the upcoming show that you have?
I have an upcoming show this Saturday at the Rec Room with Pablo Francisco. I've been trying to talk to my good buddy Norm McDonald, who...
I hope he's watching the show.
Yeah, he said he was. I've been trying to talk him into coming down, but he's like, if there's a basketball game, I don't know if I can. I don't know. But it'd be cool to go back to doing comedy with my friends. So that's my passion in life, is just making people laugh.
Yes.
So.
Thưa quý vị, hôm nay Julie có hân hạnh mời được Keith Reza trên cái show. Keith là một người comedian, là nói cái đó là joke lên đài. Keith có rất nhiều kinh nghiệm về làm trong nhiều cái venue. Một cái người mà hướng dẫn Keith là Norm McDonald. Norm McDonald là một người comedian rất là nổi tiếng trong cộng đồng. I just said, Norm is a very well-known name, and he happens to be your mentor.
Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine.
Did he pay you to say that?
No. I mean, he probably gets sick of me saying it, but I look up to him. I have a family, but then I also have a comedy family, and he's like my comedy dad.
Oh.
So I love him very much, and I also love Lojo, who's his assistant, and they're very good to me, and it's when you're a comedian, it's very important to have, especially since it's like Norm's like my favorite comedian ever, and the fact that he supports me and believes in me, that just means everything to me. So it's very important to have that in comedy, especially when you have autism and you don't see social cues very well about like what's professional or not professional, and the fact that he brings me up and helps me and guides me, that just means everything to me.
He sounds like a great man. I hope to meet him someday.
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe if there's no basketball game on July 3rd, he'll come down and do some comedy.
Okay, well, thank you, Keith. Thank you for sharing with us, your mentor and what he's done for you. I want to ask you, why did you choose comedy? As did you grow up and say, when I grow up, I want to be a comedian?
I was very, actually, I was very nonverbal growing up, and I went to a lot of speech therapy and stuff. And I remember I used to watch these young HBO comedy specials with my dad. Mm-hmm. The first one I watched was the 13th Young Comedian special. David Spade was on it, Fred Stoller, this guy named Drake Sather, and it was hosted by Dennis Miller. Uh-huh. And I remember watching it, and I just thought, oh my God, these guys are making me laugh, and I'm like 12, Of course, it was filmed in the 80s, but like it was just on TV. So I just thought that it must be the coolest job ever. So I started reading comedy books, and I started watching more comedians. And my first time performing, I went to an open mic night when I was 15. It was at like a mom and pop coffee shop. Yes. They had $20 for the best joke, and $20 for a teenager is like $100.
Yeah.
You know? So I won the $20 because I was the only person who signed up. But so that's my dream, and I'm very fortunate to be one of those people who keeps pursuing it,
Yeah, and I tell you this, and I don't know you believe me, but I think you're an inspiration. And I think, that's one thing is that, every time I see you, you always say, you know what, I know exactly what I want to do in life. This is my passion, this is what makes me happy. But I remember you always saying that my passion is to make other people happy.
Yeah.
And I love how you said that. And, I say you're an inspiration because you never give up. And that's what I love about you, Keith.
I think that's part of the Asperger's, where I don't know the meaning of give up. And so I'm very persistent, and I like if there's a door that shuts, I do everything I can to sneak underneath the door or over the door, or I'll break the door. I don't know, but I don't let a door stop me. I always move in directions to get back on path. At least I try to.
Okay. Well, thưa quý vị, hôm nay Keith anh chia sẻ với mình là Norman Macdonald là một người rất là thương mến Keith và hướng dẫn Keith được. Keith chia sẻ hôm nay là Keith cũng có là triệu chứng tự kỷ hay Asperger. Nhiều em hay nhiều người lớn mà bị tự kỷ thì có thể không có hiểu hết, mà cái phần mà Keith nói đó là cái tự kỷ giúp cho Keith tiếp tục làm việc đây, không có bao giờ give up. Julie thấy là rất là quan trọng. Keith, I was just saying in Vietnamese that you mentioned that you have Asperger, and one of that I guess let's call it a power was that you never give up. Yeah. I think what I want to share with the audience today is that when someone have a disability or when they have autism, that can get in the way of them pursuing their dreams or even getting a job. Research shows that about only 20% with people with disability hold a job.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the number is not in our favor. But what I want to share with you is that, when we are a community, when we come together, like when Norm is with you or when we work together, we create jobs and we create opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing is that, I hope this show will make it an opportunity for more people to learn about who you are. Yeah. And what you have to offer, and to be a partner as we move forward. What would you say is your biggest strength or assets?
My biggest strength or assets in the workplace, or
just in general?
Well, I like to think I'm a pretty creative guy, funny guy. I think that I have a very sophisticated sense of humor, where sometimes I'll think it's funny, but no one else will. And I'm like, but come on, that's funny. But I have to explain it over again, and then eventually people will be like, it's funny, or kind of funny. I don't know. But I think that that's a good strength to have, because it cheers people up, I feel.
Okay. Well, Keith, thank you so much for sharing, a little bit about who you are, the people that make you the person that you are today. Definitely after the commercial break, we'll have more opportunity to learn more about, your talk show, your radio talk show that you have, and a little bit more detail about, other upcoming events. So thank you so much for being here today. After the commercial break, we'll definitely have more opportunity to talk to Keith Reza. Cảm ơn quý vị đã tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa, gia đình và xã hội.
Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show. I'm your host, Julie Yip. Julie Yip cảm ơn quý vị đã tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có mời được Keith Reza, comedian với là cái LA Talk Radio host to the show. Keith, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for sharing, giving a glimpse of who you are. And you say I identify as a person on the spectrum or with Asperger. But as far as work is concerned, what besides stand-up comedian shows, what other things have you done?
Well, I write scripts and I go to screenwriting school. I also have a radio show podcast, and I write jokes, and I try to just keep myself active. My two little brain people in there, because when you have Asperger's, you have two people in your brain. A right and a left. Everyone has it, but when you have Asperger's, one guy's like overtyping and the other guy's just eating Cheetos. So it puts a lot of anxiety on the guy who's overworking. So that's where script writing really helps me, because I love stories. I love just writing down a story. It doesn't even have to be a good story. I'll just write whatever I think is funny, or sometimes I'm not in a funny mood and I'll just write like I'm writing a detective script right now.
So do you use that writing skills and that sense of humor on your talk show or your podcast?
Yeah. I wouldn't say like writing is like the biggest skill, because I'm a terrible editor. Like if you see in my scripts, there's all these, maybe this is why I've never really sold one, because there's all these like grammar things, but I'm very good at writing it. And I think people don't realize there's two different things between a writer and an editor. Right? Like to be a good writer, you should be able to do both.
So as far as your talk show or your podcast,
right?
Tell us, like, how do we be a part of it? How do we subscribe? How do we follow you?
It's you could just Google Reza Riffs, RIFTS, and it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and what Reza Riffs is about is it's about me interviewing celebrities who I look up to, or just people who I look up to, and finding out their journey and seeing how I could connect with them.
Yeah.
I just interviewed Bob Saget, who...
What is he known for?
He's known for Full House and America's Funniest Videos.
Okay.
He's a big comic hero of mine, and that was a great conversation. And it shows to me like what I think is great is because a lot of people can't interview these big names that I get, or they just don't have the context to do it. But what I do is I use my abilities. I call their managers over and over again until they pick up.
You're persistent, like you said.
Exactly.
Right?
And then, like, if it goes to voicemail, I'll call someone else in that department. I'll be like, oh, hey, this is Keith Reza calling for Tom. He told me to call you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do stuff like that to get Tom to call me back. So I'm very moving through the doors.
Okay. Well, Keith, I hope, when we have a chance, the audience can see some of the photos that I shared, that you have been on, you have your LA Talk Radio, and it's called Reza's Riff, and that you have so many guests on the show. I know that, you have so many guests, and I saw this one photo, and it was like, was it 70-something guests on there? How many episodes have you done? And
we're at 150. There's two flyers. Each flyer has about 70 maybe 75 people on it. But the flyers are just not, they're made mostly to try and get other guests. Like, hey, this is who else has done it. You know, it's not like I promote the flyers to promote the flyers. I just promote it to usually get other guests. It's kind of like a switch and bait tool that I use.
Well, I think one of the things that I like about you is that, you know, for you, you say, I have the ability to get anybody on my show. That's because of my persistence.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when we look at the lineup, we're like, wow, how did he get this guy?
Yeah.
Or how did he get this actor and all of these guys? You know, so
I'm still working on John Cusack. That's a little hard because the restraining order. But you know, I'm trying.
And that's a joke, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just fun because I feel when I interview these people, I mean, half of the time I feel like they're only saying yes to say yes because they want me to stop bugging them. But I feel like after the conversation, I feel they get a bigger depth of who I am. And I also feel that they made a good friend too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like I can honestly, of everyone I interviewed, I can honestly say I feel personally I'm friends with them.
That's great.
You know.
Well, thank you, Keith, for sharing your journey with us. Cảm ơn quý vị. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Keith Reza. Keith chia sẻ về cái công việc của Keith on LA Talk Radio. Cái chương trình là kêu là Reza's Riff. Đó là một cái chương trình trên radio mà cũng là cái chương trình trong podcast. So nếu quý vị muốn tham gia về hiểu thêm á, là lên cái website của Keith, đó là www.keithreza.com. Keith cũng trên Instagram với trên Twitter. Thì Julie thấy đó là một cái phần mà quý vị nghe hôm nay đó là Keith là một người có tự kỷ, mà không phải là cái mình thấy là cái đó là cái khuyết tật không, mà cái tài. Keith nói đó là Keith trên cái show của Keith có rất nhiều người nổi tiếng, có thể người khác không có khả năng book, mà Keith tại có tự kỷ là có cái persistent, là không có bao giờ ai mà nói no, Keith cũng vẫn tiếp tục làm. Thì you know, Keith, I just said, you know, one of the things you kept on emphasizing was that autism is almost your superpower.
Right.
That when it gives you when doors are closed, you're like, you know what, I'm going to find another way there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I admire about what you're saying is that your strength to be able to have that focus about, you know, who you want on the show, finding different ways to get there. So you have a lot of problem-solving skills, you know. And I know that, you know, your passion is comedy.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest roadblock is making sure we book you more frequently in the year.
Yeah,
right?
that would be great. I mean, because I feel I'm very talented.
But you've been on so many stages. Let's start with there.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the venues you've been at and some of the, you know, big names that you've been working with.
Well, I think I've already shared. I opened for Norm Macdonald, who he was on the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he has a couple movies. And I also opened for Jay Moore, who is the pretty guy in the movie Jerry Maguire with Tom Cruise.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I opened for Jeremy Hotz, he's never done movies, but he's a pretty known stand-up comedian.
Okay.
So,
and do you travel around the country, up and down in California? How far do you go?
Just California. I did Arizona and Vegas a couple times.
Okay.
But you know, I would love to go around the country. I feel with this pandemic that kind of like made it a lot harder to do that, because I feel like clubs won't allow people to bring their own support because of, you know, distancings or whatever their state's capacity rules are. But you know, that's where I just gotta go over the door and take a Greyhound. You know.
You know, Keith, I know when we worked together in the event right prior to COVID, we had a Lighted Up Blue comedy show to celebrate Autism Awareness Month. And you were basically the production manager that time to get the show together, get all the comedians together. We were able to put a show together with comics that have autism or have some kind of disabilities.
Yeah.
And we were able to fill this room full of people who can identify with it.
Rosie Tran was there, and Kato Kalin.
Yes.
And it was a fun show. And I look forward to doing more of those shows.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we can, you know, make this at least a biannual event. you know, to create jobs and opportunities for people who have autism and people with disabilities, but most importantly, to give our families an opportunity to come together and just to relax. Find a babysitter and then laugh about all the challenges and all the difficulties they have all year. You know, so I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for in the future. And as we open up more with OC Autism, as we have our parent support group, I want to invite you, and not just invite you to volunteer, but to hire you and to create opportunities where I want you to teach our parents to write jokes. I want you to train these parents to laugh about some of the craziness that they have to deal with in their everyday life, right? Because sometimes marriage is kind of funny.
Right.
And our kids are, you know, have so many things that we can talk about. So what do you think about that?
I think whatever involves with giving me money is a good idea. So, yeah, let's do it. I would love to, you know, create more divorces in this world. That's my dream. And so, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I would love to teach people how to write scripts and try and teach them how to, you know, write jokes, and I'll just tell them what I do, and what I do is just have the confidence of what you say is going to be funny.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you, Keith, for you know, willing to come on this journey with us as we reopen OC Autism and continue to move forward and create opportunities, and especially job opportunities for our community. So after the commercial break, we'll definitely have more opportunity to talk together.
Awesome.
Julie, cảm ơn quý vị đã tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Sau phần quảng cáo, chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói thêm với Keith Reza.
Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình. 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. Today we have a chance to talk to comedian Keith Reza on our show, and we have an upcoming event at the Rec Room in Huntington Beach that we would like to share with you today. That's going to be on Saturday, July 3rd at 7 p.m. Julie cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Keith Reza. Có một cái chương trình gần tới thứ Bảy tuần đây, đó là ngày 3 tháng 7 ở The Rec Room ở thành phố Huntington Beach. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện về adult employment, làm sao mình phải tìm cái công việc mà mình có thương mến, mà mình thích làm. Trong mùa Covid, rất nhiều người cũng có phải ở nhà hoặc có bị unemployed, mà hiện tại đó là bây giờ mình mở rộng lại đó, thì mình phải ráng tìm cái công việc nào mà có ý nghĩa cho mình. Keith, you know, as I just mentioned that, you know, during COVID, many of us were unemployed, and some of us have to, you know, change our way of working. Now, as we reopen, many of us are also revisiting and kind of reanalyzing, is that a job I want to go back to?
Right.
And today, I really am so happy to have you here, because it's a reminder for people to follow their passion, follow their dream, and don't let anybody close the door on them. Because I always hear you saying, I'm not going to wait when someone closes the door. I'm going to find a way in somehow. You know, so again, I love your persistence. But, you know, I want to talk to you, I want to talk and share with the audience about, you know, the Rec Room. So I've been there. We've done an event there for OC Autism and for the Lighted Up Blue. So if you can see on the screen, there might be some blue photos coming up.
Right.
And that's the event that we did. We had such a great turnout in the community.
We sold it out.
We sold it out,
yeah.
Right? And we sold tickets, you know, over like $100 for VIP tickets.
Right.
And that's a venue that does not necessarily sells for $100.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Tickets at the Rec Room are usually between $15 to $25.
Yeah, but when we did our fundraiser, we were able to get our friends to donate $100 for a great cause. And, you know, for me, it's an introduction to our community about how talented you are.
Yeah.
And how talented all of our friends are, and how worthy they are. And I'm hoping, like I said to you, to do this event at least twice a year. Is an opportunity for me to pay you, to give you money to go to those great places you love.
Oh, yeah.
Where Norm knows where you want to go.
Right.
Right? And it also is for us to also fundraise and give our parents, our families, a place to just have fun and a day to just enjoy themselves.
Right.
So tell us again about the Rec Room and kind of what you've done.
Well, the Rec Room is a comedy club in Huntington Beach. It fits 150 people. So it's
Okay.
very small, but it's intimate.
Yes.
And it's in an arcade, and arcade's family friendly, but the rec room is very intimate, where you can never tell a bad joke there, because that's how close you are with the comedians and all that stuff.
And there's never a bad seat in the house.
Oh no, yeah, every
Yeah.
seat is like literally right there. Like you could literally have a conversation with the comedian, and the comedian can see you. So
Yes.
I think that's what's cool about it. And I've brought in some big comedians like Dat Fam, who's going to be there.
He has an upcoming show too, right?
Yeah, he's going to come back on August 7th, I believe.
Now, where was that? What show was he on?
Dat Fam is the original winner of Last Comic Standing.
Oh, okay.
And I brought in Christopher Titus, who had an ABC show called Titus. I brought in Jay Moore, who I opened for. And, I brought in Pablo Francisco, who's I'm performing with on Saturday. He was on Mad TV. He has a Comedy Central Presents. He was one of the only comedians to have his Presents requested several times.
What does that mean?
That means when it came out, a lot of people called and emailed Comedy Central and said, keep playing it, keep playing it.
Oh, okay. That's
so
awesome.
His special is one of the top ones for Comedy Central Presents. So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a 7 p.m. show. You can get tickets at www.recroomhb.com. Then, after the 7 p.m. show, we're doing a Raise the Riffs live with Pablo. So I'm going to be interviewing Pablo in front of hopefully a full house.
Awesome.
And it's not a stand-up show. It's more like an interview show, kind of like this, but like with people. And, I can make Pablo feel awkward in front of a crowd. And so that's, you could buy tickets there. The tickets will be $15, same website, www.recroomhb.com. And I'm looking forward to that because I just love making people laugh, and it's my favorite comedy club. And I co-book it, and, I put a lot of hard work into that.
Yeah. The thing about the Rec Room is that it's so local and it's kind of central, right?
Right.
And it's not too far from LA and in all of Orange County, and people can come to it. We've been cooped up at home during the pandemic, and this is such a great opportunity just to go out and just have fun again.
Yeah.
Have a few drinks with friends and just laugh, because I know for me, I work so hard. And comedy has always been my medicine.
Right.
I always say that's how I, recharge.
Yeah.
And that's why you'll see that, anytime when you're up there, I always want to come to support. First of all, to support a friend, but primarily because I really believe you're talented, and you always make me laugh.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want to say, it's a pleasure to be part of this. I'm excited to be there, and I hope the TV audience will also join us.
Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, I love that comedy club because, like I said, 150 people is very small for a comedy club. But the intimacy, it's just like laughs nonstop, and like usually when you do a comedy club, the laughs will go like a wave. You know what I mean? At the Rec Room, it's just high waves the entire time. It's
Awesome.
it's like laughing.
So come out and feel the energy.
Yeah.
Right. So how do they get the tickets?
You could go online, www.recroomhb.com, and there's tickets for Pablo this Saturday, July 3rd, 7 p.m. Like I said, I'm trying to talk to my good buddy Norm, see if he could come down and do a guest set. He hasn't let me know, but it's that'd be cool because.
Well, you've been putting so many shout out to him today. I
Yeah.
think you feel obligated to come.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
just
have
kidding.
to. But I just love, Pablo's a friend of mine, and I just love doing comedy with friends. And that's why I like the Rec Room, because I feel the audiences who go there, they see that energy.
Yes.
It's not just like a normal comedy show, oh, I'm here to make you laugh to take your money. It's here, I'm going to make you laugh to make you feel good about it.
Okay.
So that's what's beautiful about that venue.
Well, thank you. If the viewer is interested in joining this event, it's this Saturday on July 3rd at the Rec Room in Huntington Beach. Thưa quý vị, nếu quý vị có thời gian thì tới tham dự chương trình đây. Cái đây là cái comedy show rất là quan trọng, tại cái phần đây là mình vẫn ủng hộ mỗi bạn mà có cái khiếu để làm cho mình có cái lý do cho cười, cho vui và ra nhà. Tại comedy show là một cái gì mà Julie làm giống như là cái thuốc của Julie ấy. Lúc mà mình căng thẳng quá, mình cũng luôn luôn thích ra ngoài với tham dự trong cộng đồng với bạn. You know, like I said, Keith, comedy is something that I see as a medicine, you know, for me, and it's such a great time because, you know, I'm not at a comedy show, I'm probably posting something silly on Facebook, or, you know, just laughing with my friends over a barbecue, or, you know, or a nice drink, right? So I think we all know comedy, but not many people have the experience to go to a comedy club, and I hope that, you know, because of the pandemic and because of you being such an awesome person, they're going to take the opportunity to come out and see who is this guy, right? And I want to hear. I mean, I'm dying to hear some new jokes or and just to revisit some of the things that you've done before. Yeah. So tell the audience, those who don't know you, what are some of the jokes that you're known for? What are the topics? Or I mean, obviously sometimes you can't say it because it's, you know, rated.
Well, what I'm known for is just, I would say 90% of my comedy is talking about having autism. And I talk about the advantages and the disadvantages and the social cues and dating, and I talk about friendships and depression, and I talk about movies, and I talk about John Cusack, who is like the love of my life. And I talk about family, and I just talk about why it's hard having jobs with Asperger's. I believe you said that people with autism,
with disabilities,
it's 20%.
Yes.
So that's what I like to talk about, how like the miscues of that 80% probably happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I've known for, I guess, and I'm probably known for just keep doing that and trying to polish and get funnier and funnier every year. That's my goal.
You know, because when you explain it, you're covering so many topics, but they really have to come into that rec room or into that room to really feel, you know, your talent. Yeah. And that's one thing about it. Is I really look forward to coming back to the rec room. I mean, we haven't been there for quite some time, and I'm excited to kind of gather some friends, you know, so I'll definitely see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. It would be awesome.
Well, cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình hôm nay. Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Keith Reza. Thứ Bảy tuần nay là ngày 3 tháng 7 là có một cái show ở The Rec Room, là cái comedy show. Keith Reza với các mỗi bạn thì cũng có là present về làm cái comedy show. Julie hy vọng nếu quý vị muốn ủng hộ với, you know, come out for the comedy show for a nice drink. I think that's really fun, but just to kind of feel the energy. Yeah. Cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Sau phần quảng cáo, chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện với Keith Reza.
Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. Today we have an opportunity to talk to my good friend, comedian Keith Reza. Keith has an upcoming event on this upcoming show at the Rec Room this Saturday, July 3rd, and we would love to have another opportunity to talk to Keith. Right now, we are on our last segment, Keith, and I want to talk about, you know, employment. Okay. You know, in the Vietnamese community, you know, when we grow up, our parents are like, you got to be a doctor, or a lawyer, or an engineer. But nobody says, I mean, no parent says, when you grow up, I want you to be a comedian. Right. Are there any Vietnamese comedians in the community or well known?
Well, I'm friends with two of them. I'm sure there's a lot more. Yeah, Rosie Tran and Da Pham.
Because Rosie was our host or opener, right? When we did our fundraising event.
Yeah, Rosie's amazing. But yeah, so I know there's definitely two. I'm sure there's way more, but I mean, I'm only friends with two.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I need to become friends with more, though.
So you can brush up on your Vietnamese skills so you can be my co-host soon.
Because Rosie, you know, she hasn't spoken Vietnamese in forever. I think she forgot. I don't know. And, you know, Dad I talk to every now and then, but, you know, it's crazy. He just tours around the world.
Does he?
You know what I mean? So.
But he's going to be coming to the Rec Room soon.
Yeah, he's going to be touring to Huntington Beach, like, you know, at the Rec Room on August 7th. Tickets www.recroomhb.com. And it's fun. He tells jokes and then he plays a guitar. Tells more jokes. Plays music.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, when I was there the last time he was at the Rec Room, and it was a riot. Everyone was laughing and having fun. It was nonstop.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited to learn more about what we can do to remind people to follow their dreams and their passion. Yeah. How important is it for you to really follow your dream and continue with this path?
I think it's very important because my dream is to be a stand-up comedian, and I've always wanted to be acting and stuff, but I think stand-up comic, it really helps me to make me feel valuable. So I feel that following your dreams is really important because it makes you happy if you're following your dreams, even if you're successful or not successful. But if you follow your dreams, you could think to yourself, you know what, at least I tried. You know, because people will try and shut down other people's dreams, but it's like, you're not trying. I'm trying. And regardless if I reach the top of the mountain or not, it's been fun and it's also been hard. You know, that's what I think about it. And, you know, if you have family and friends that are supportive and you help follow their dreams too, you know, it's kind of like Norm, for example. Like Norm's dream, you know, he's already accomplished it. And the fact that he helps, you know, when I'm climbing, that he helps me, gives me the tools and stuff. And I want to do that to someone who's following their dreams in the future too. I want to pay it forward like that and help another comedian out like that. So I think like what comes around, and I think that that's the important thing, you know, with dreams. It's very important to follow your dreams.
Well, you know what? For you, you're going to say the same thing. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of stuck in this loop. But, you know, I know that I asked you to, I asked you to, you know, to be serious for once. And I know that was really hard for you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like,
but
follow your dream.
I was being serious.
Yeah, I know you were. But, you know, Keith, that's the thing about it is that, you know, I love when you talk, you've got this special charm, right? And I always want to giggle. Like, I'm trying to, like, keep the straight face, be professional, and you're like, okay, let's just keep on doing this. But, you know, I think what it is about you is that you're always so raw. You're always so authentic.
So wrong?
No, raw. No, you're always so authentic, right?
I was like, I could be
think,
wrong.
you know, for you to have a mentor and for you to even want to, you know, support other people's dreams, I think that's a very noble thing to do. Because, you know, when we have dreams, you know, maybe some of our dreams are a little bit bigger and maybe not that many people believe in our talents. But it only takes one person to not give up on you. Yeah. Like Norm for you to continue to do what you do. Yeah. You know, like I have this crazy dream about building the Vietnamese Cultural Center and Heritage Center. And everyone tells me, Julie, we tried that. So many people tried it for the last 20, 30 years. Why do you think you can do it? I'm like, because there's at least one people that I know that truly believes in me. And the main reason is because I want to create jobs, opportunities, and just, you know, eliminate these barriers and the barriers to finding our true passion.
Well, I also think like it's important to, it's nice to have other people believe in you, but I think at the end of the day, it's, do you believe in yourself?
Yes.
And I believe in myself, you know, and I know you believe in yourself. Yep. My grandfather, who was my best friend, he passed away 10 years ago, and he was even a bigger supporter than Norm or my father because he would go to every single show.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I try, like when I do stand-up comedy, I try and imagine the entire audience is just him. Because he was, you know, especially at the age where you didn't know how to believe in yourself. So I think like that's important to do, and following your dreams. And you know, you got this show, you're making jobs, you know, so I think that's great.
Well, Thank you again, Keith, for that very important message. Thưa quý vị, hôm nay Keith có thời gian nói chuyện với Julie. Một cái nhắc nhở của Keith đó là chừng nào mình có cái dream, mình có muốn làm cái công việc gì, mình phải tin tưởng mình trước. Lúc mà mình tin tưởng mình có nhiều người trong xung quanh cũng tin tưởng mình và hướng dẫn mình rất có khả năng đạt được cái đó. Julie hy vọng là mình có tạo được nhiều cái tương lai, nhiều cái công việc cho mọi người trong cộng đồng. One of the stats that I wanted to say and I don't want to forget is that about 700,000 to over 1 million teens with autism in the next decades will become adults with autism.
Wow.
And as I shared with you, one of the statistics was that only about 20% with people with disabilities are employed.
Yeah.
And that's a staggering statistic. And that's why, for my dream, which I truly believe in, and I know that I have a nice village that's thinking about, participating and going on this journey with me, is that I know it's a very worthwhile thing. And I want to start with people that I know like you. It's creating opportunities, but also creating jobs. So I think, what you do, Keith, is so admirable.
Yeah.
I know that you've already reached a couple of your benchmarks.
Right.
But there's a few more we want to hit.
But
right?
I want to be off the bench. I don't want to be on the bench.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You definitely want to be off the bench. And I know you're going to take that center stage somewhere. And I know you're going to pursue, to meet your goal soon.
Yeah.
So is there any last message or words you would like to say to the audience as we close today?
Just come see me and do stand-up comedy. Dates are at www.keithreza.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. But I also have another important message I wanted to share for the folks.
Please.
Okay.
Don't make me laugh, though.
Then maybe it's not a good important message.
No, please do.
So the important message is when you go to a grocery store, don't go through the self-scan.
Why is that?
Because you're taking jobs away.
Oh.
Because it's a self-scan. So you're creating more work for yourself.
For yourself.
And you're not getting paid. So you might as well have someone else do it. They get paid.
Because you did work at the grocery stores before, right?
I still do.
You still do?
Yeah, but that was just my important message. I was trying to, because these machines have to go down. Yeah. I feel like this is a 60 minutes.
So Keith, I think that's the thing about it. Today I really appreciate you coming on to this show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You have a great charm with you. You're very talented in what you do. I hope everybody have an opportunity to come to the show, and also, more importantly, help us create more opportunities for our community.
And thank you so much for having me, and thank you for my flowers. They're beautiful.
You like artificial flowers?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Keith, for being a friend. And, making me not keep my cool at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But, always I support what you do, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
Julie, cảm ơn quý vị để theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Keith Reza. Keith Reza là một người bạn quen của Julie trong mấy năm đây, làm rất nhiều việc trong cộng đồng. Mà Keith rất là có nhiều cái tài với cái cứu để cho làm mọi người cười cho vui. Cái comedy show của Keith là nói chuyện về cái khó khăn của tự kỷ, mà cũng có là nhiều cái vui về mình có cái đời của người công nghiệp tự kỷ. Julie hy vọng nếu quý vị có nói tiếng Anh, hiểu tiếng Anh nhiều được thì tới tham dự cái show đó là thứ Bảy tuần đây, là ngày 3 tháng 7 trên Red Room ở thành phố Huntington Beach. And then trong tháng 8 cũng có một cái comedian người Việt Nam, đó là anh Pham, đó là ngày 7 tháng 8 cũng ở Red Room. Anh Pham là cũng là rất là nổi tiếng, là một cái the first winner của cái Last Comic Standing, mà Julie hy vọng quý vị cũng có thời gian tới tham dự luôn. Luôn Julie thấy đó là cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình có thể mình không có nghĩ là con mình làm toàn comedian, mà comedian là cũng có làm có cái công việc là có rất nhiều ý nghĩa. Julie cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Julie chúc quý vị rất nhiều hạnh phúc về sức khỏe.